The saga of mixed feelings towards Nina drama from the MMA community continues because we had a tweet and a little bit of a thread that Nina drama herself ended up replying to, and I wanted to take a look at the first tweet that kind of took it all off as a reply from the NFL on Fox podcast, and we're going to take a look at what a bunch of people had to say online to kind of get a gauge on what the online community has to say about this. We're going to get into that in just a second. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. Guys, let's start off with this post that started everything off from Christy. Everyone drools over Nina's less than mediocre contribution to the UFC. Meanwhile, Megan Olivi is actually a woman of substance from the sphere to the field. Now, of course, this is taking a look at a clip, which I don't know if we're allowed to use since of copyright, but the point being, this is kind of the tweet that started things off, and Nina actually ended up replying to this. Let's take a look at what she had to say, okay? People like you are the ones that make the MMA community so nasty and toxic. What do I have to do with this post? LOL. Why can't you praise Megan's amazing work and leave my name out of it? I see these types of posts like this every single day. Why are people so fascinated and intrigued by everything I do? It's only when scum like you mention my name, anyone pays attention. That's why you do it. If you watch my content, all I do is uplift fighters and make fun content that promotes fighters and the UFC. Yet, people want to find a million things wrong with my content. The truth is, all of this stems from jealousy. You want my job? Come and take it. Fight me for it. Let's see how far you get with this attitude and how no one, absolutely no one, will want to work with you in this negative energy and negative contribution to the space. Also, I just checked your page. You are an unhappy person based on everything I've seen you post. I can see what a troubled spirit you have. You need some help. You need some love. You are part of the problem on Twitter. Get some DICK and a therapist. So Nina lashed out pretty nicely to that. And honestly, from what she had to say, I thought it was a pretty good response. Like, at the end of the day, I get why people are bringing her up when comparing her to Megan Olivi, because a lot of fans are really happy with Megan Olivi. Honestly, I'm one of those people. I like what Megan Olivi has to do. I'm like, I have mixed feelings on Laura Sanko, Nina drama. I've also had mixed feelings about, because I understand the people who have like issues with her, but at the end of the day, my whole kind of take on it is just don't watch her content. That's kind of where I'm at coming from. But then again, there are a lot of fighters that she has kind of brought like light to, like brought a different kind of personality from them. Anyways, let's continue on, because Nina got into it a little bit more with the replies over on Twitter. Another thing from Nina drama is I think that she kind of encourages this by responding to people hating on her. But then again, I understand it's a little bit difficult to not reply to people just randomly making things about you, right? So a username by the MMA Sensei had this to say: it's because you're clearly an industry plant since you're one of the biggest casuals and know nothing about the sport. Your first interview is with Khabib. You literally got a walkout intro with music to the entire UFC staff filming you, and you click farm with your hits while you have a boyfriend. So that is the biggest thing why people don't necessarily respect girlfriends that do that to their boyfriends. I feel like that's where a lot of the hate is stemming from. I did not know personally, so take this with a grain of salt. I'm assuming that this post is correct because I don't know if she actually addressed anything like this. I didn't know that her first interview ever was with Khabib. If that's the case, obviously the UFC is kind of like pushing her, but then again, the UFC can do what the UFC wants. That's kind of where I'm sitting on this topic. So Nina actually continued and replied to this. It was a practice run through for the fighters that they do before every single fight for every single walkout song, and they asked if I wanted to step in because they needed someone to walk on for the camera. Do you know what production is, or are you just an ignorant troll with an X account? That was rhetorical. We know the answer. I took the opportunity to make content out of it, and it went viral many times. Sounds like I know what I'm doing when it comes to making content, and you can't get your head out of your ass, you donkey. And anyways, it's a decent response over here, and MMA Sensei had this to say in reply to that. Again, you just proved my point, LMAO. They asked you because they want to promote you. Why do you think Megan or Laura Sanko have never gotten a walkout or anything even remotely close to that, even though they have been covering the UFC for over a decade, and some new chick just walks in and gets more promotion from them both combined in less than a year? You're very good at trying to throw insults, but dumb as, when it comes to answering the questions. Little bit of an okay response, and it could have been phrased a little bit better in my opinion, and MMA Sensei did reply to it again. The fact that you have to just defend yourself every day speaks volumes to the fact that you're a plant, too dumb enough to see that you're just proving my point. The way that I don't believe, honestly, is I don't think it's a good idea for somebody in Nina's space to start replying to these people. But then again, I understand from her perspective, because I have been conflicted on how I feel about this for YouTube, because there's a lot of, I run a lot of channels. I get a lot of, really nice comments, but I also get, a lot of really rude comments. It's a little bit difficult because as a man, I want to be like, hey, who the hell are you talking to? And just argue with people, but then again, another part of me goes, okay, what's the point of arguing with stupid online? I'm not saying what these people are criticizing Nina, I'm not saying what they are saying doesn't have any merit to it. I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of confused about why Nina even engages with these people, because as the post said, or I'm pretty sure if the post alluded to something like that, you see Nina replying to these types of people all the time. The more she replies to it, the more that she's going to see it. And if she doesn't want to see it, why is she engaging with it? But then again, I understand why you would want to speak up on it. Obviously, because people are insulting your character. I understand why she would want to do that. Anyways, let's take a look at some of the top replies from various tweets on the subject to kind of get a gauge on how the MMA community is feeling about this. So, it's Charles had this to say, Nina is the nicest person IRL and makes time for everyone. Only unhappy people who ain't doing well in life feel the need to hate on others. Anyone who was genuinely happy wouldn't even care what Nina was doing if they disliked her. That's kind of how I'm feeling about it, and I have conflicting views on Nina. I don't care for her. I don't necessarily like her, but I also don't hate her. I'm just neutral how I feel about Nina Drama. Some of her interviews are really funny. The Sean Strickland ones are really funny, and I like that she gets... It depends on the fighter she's interviewing. Kind of like the way I watch the Schmo. It depends who's there. You know? That's how I feel about it. So, if she does something that I don't want to watch, I just don't let it affect my day. I just don't watch it. That's kind of where I'm coming from, okay? Let's continue on to cancel that guy. Not gonna lie, at first, I was like, holy crap, this chick's annoying. Then I swear to God, I blinked and I watched all of your interviews with fighters. It's refreshing to see you bring out the side of fighters we wouldn't really get to see if it wasn't for your content. Bravo. That's the thing. That's what Nina Drama does well. She brings out a different side of fighters. So Killishaw also piped up and had this to say, why are you so rattled for everything and writing huge novels and essays? That's kind of like where I'm at. I don't understand what the big deal is. Just don't reply to people. And another person had this to say, you are hot and all, but you're an obvious industry plant, fake and arrogant. You're good at pretending, but beyond your looks, you offer little substance. You even know this, as you can see this SS when you forgot to switch accounts. You can see this in this SS. Oh, the screenshot. I'm guessing that's what that means. Am I stupid? Anyways. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh my God, I forgot about this. That's funny. Is this the time where she responded? I could be wrong about this, but I think this is the time where she kind of went around the MMA community because she forgot to switch to her alt account. In reply to something about Nina, lol, you think Helen is more entertaining than Nina? Why is it that Nina is the one who got hired by the UFC and the one who's being pushed by them then? Helen had her chance for years and never capitalized. The fans chose Nina. I'm almost sure that's what it was, but I could be wrong about that, so take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, that one sucks a little bit, to be honest with you. Anyways, Blonded MMA had this to say, I completely agree. Let's be real. You just get hate because you're a woman. Most of these losers who talk down on people are all miserable and live with their parents. So one thing that I definitely do agree with is the people who constantly talk down to people online. I'm talking about the people, not the people who have legitimate criticism for the content that somebody makes, but I mean the people who just, there's a lot of names that you see constantly hating on people if you watch any type of channel lately. So it's so true that the fact that misery loves company, but on the other side of the coin, I think that, and you know what, I was going to talk about this and kind of that doesn't, just because somebody's criticizing doesn't mean that, but then again, it's a little bit touchy for YouTube. YouTube, I'm very grateful to be on your platform, so we're not going to touch on that. Anyways, El Contrario had this to say, most of it comes from posting thirst traps on account people follow for MMA content. I bet if you had a separate profile for those posts, the grief you endure would get cut in half. I love your interviews, but even I get a little bit annoyed at those posts because I am not here for that. This I actually completely agree with. One of the reasons why I don't personally follow Nina is because that is something that I don't want to see online. And you know what? Say what you want about me, but I'm a happily married man, and I don't think it would be appropriate to constantly see the stuff that Nina posts if my wife is sitting with me and looking over my shoulder. It doesn't mean she controls my life or anything along those lines. I would just find it disrespectful because I wouldn't want her doing the same thing with some man making that type of content. I just don't follow her for that reason, but there is the occasional interview, and I do subscribe to her on YouTube, but I don't follow her anywhere else for that reason. So this one I do agree with. If she were to make a different account for all of the thirst trap type stuff that she wants to do, then I think that she would see a little bit of a change. Might be a little bit too far gone, but then again, it might take a little bit of time down the road if you just commit to that. But anyways, I'd love to know what you guys think about this entire subject down below because I saw this circulating on Reddit, Twitter, and I would love to know, again, what everybody thinks in the comments down below. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. We did have another video talking about some Twitter drama from Nina Drama if you would like to. Nina Drama, just... Anyways, check out this video, guys. I'll see you over there. Take care, everybody.